All right. Here's for the first time here on Cool Change Radio and on the Quick Fix with Bradley Quick, our empowerment coaching for parents. Empowerment coaching for parents. How to raise drug-free kids. Brought to you by and hosted by my friend Susan Blauner, Director of Operations of the Saving Lives Drug and Alcohol Coalition. Susan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bradley. Thank you very much for having me.
It's so good to have you here. Finally, we've been talking about this for how long?
A long time.
Long time. So tell us about empowerment coaching for parents.
Well, the first thing we need to understand is that parents are the first line of defense for their teenagers. Not only for their teenagers, but for their young kids as they're growing up. It is imperative that parents understand and have a great communication set up with their children so that they are aware as they are growing up of any kind of substance abuse or issues that may come up.
Is the first method of acknowledging that there may be an issue is the behavior of the children?
Yes, the behavior of the children, definitely. You will see many different changes in the kids. That you'll see changes in their schoolwork. You'll see changes in their.
How much of that's just puberty?
That can happen. That there's a little bit of puberty involved, but you begin to see many changes in communication with the parents. There's anger issues that start to come up. That they are starting to hang around with friends that are not, amenable to what the parents would want to have. But parents need to have a control factor, and that's why I'm here. And I first want to take a moment just to thank you, Bradley, for letting me have this forum, because there are so many kids out there and parents who are in need of having this communication issue and learning how to deal with one another so that we can avoid the terrible tragedies that you and I both know have affected families, one of which are overdoses where parents lose their children, brain damage where kids, where families are dealing with kids who have absolute brain damage, and all the other ramifications, unwanted pregnancies, assault, legal issues, accidents that happen where someone is out there drinking, or drinking and driving and drugged, or in a car with someone else's drinking and in an accident and they lose their lives, or they're paralyzed, or so forth and so on. So I want to thank you and the Cool Change Radio for letting us have this forum.
Oh, this is wonderful. And it's you and me, baby, for the next 4 or 5, 6 or 7 years or something, I think is what we decided
I
on.
hope so.
Yeah. No, oh, man, I'm getting so excited here. Parenting is very, very important. It's not a job that can be taken lightly.
No, and parents need to understand that it's so serious, and everyone's so involved in their day-to-day lives, and they're busy, and they're carpooling, and they're working, and the working mothers who drop off their kids at daycares and so forth and so on. They need to understand that these things can start to happen from a very, very young age. Those people who are dealing in drugs, those people who are trying to get our youth involved in substance abuse, they're not waiting till high school. They're not waiting till they're 18.
Yeah, and then they're just out to make a buck. These drug dealers are out to make a buck, and it just so happens that they prey on a lot of people that are vulnerable, children that are vulnerable, right?
Absolutely, the children that are vulnerable. But parents, being that they're so busy, we need to step back now. We need to start to take steps to setting up parent and children, and I'm talking about young children now, where they have dinners together, where they're communicating, where parents take an active role in knowing everything that's going on in their kid's life.
What's the best way to do that? What's the best way to go about that?
The first thing that I would do would definitely to be set up times where I would say on a daily basis. First, let me say for anyone who's asking, well, what does she know all about this? I'm a mother of 5.
5?
5, okay? I have 4 boys and a girl. They're all adults right now. And the parenting role that I chose to take on my own was one of tough love, but love and commitment. And I knew every time and every place where my kids were. So much so that I would hear my kids complaining to other kids saying, oh, I can't go with you there because my mother knows always where I am and who I'm with. Well, that helped guide them in their life, and we have found, research has found that the parents who know where their kids are, know where they're going, know who their being with and what their plans are for the day. That's very, very important. So you must sit down with your kids on a daily basis, no matter how busy you are, and talk to them. They need to know that you are there for them. They want you to be there for them. It is extremely important.
So get involved and stay involved and be involved and don't do anything but get involved, right?
That's absolutely it. It can't be that you're just dropping them off with the babysitters or just or not knowing what they're doing at the end of the day. Okay, I just dropped them off at band practice. Well, you need to know what's going on at band practice. And I would even stop into band practice and be there and see what's happening and knowing who they're with, because there might be adults that might not be good for them.
Right, being a parent is a full-time job, isn't it?
It's 24/7.
I mean, once people think, oh, we're gonna have a baby, and isn't this so pretty? But it may be wonderful and pretty, but it's a job, isn't it? Your life changes when you have a child, isn't it?
It does. It obviously changes for the better. You have to look at it from the positive point of view. There's nothing more beautiful than raising your children. But it's not all hunky-dory, and it's not all a bed of roses, or a bowl of cherries. Everyone needs to understand.
You have to be a stern captain of your ship.
A stern captain of your ship. And the kids want that, because those kids, and research proves this, that when those kids know they have parents who are committed to them, who have family events, who go to make sure that they do things together with the family all the time.
Is it important to set goals together with your child?
Absolutely. Set goals. Listen to them. You have to listen to your children to hear what they are saying. It can't be just the talk to the kids. You have to hear what they have to say. And
you have to get in communication with them.
You have to be in communication with them. You have to be a parent, not their friend. You have to make the decisions, even if it isn't so popular with your kid and they go pouting off to their room somewhere. In the end, the kid knows deep down that you said the best for not letting them go to that party that they want to go to. You must know who and what and when and where. You can't just drop your kids off and say, oh, they're at Jeff's house and they're going to be with a group of kids. Well, you don't know that they're not doing pill parties that night. You know what I mean? There's so much.
How prevalent are drugs today in the childhood community?
It's so prevalent, it's frightening, and it's epidemic proportions, which is why I do what I do.
Is it generally all prescription drugs, or mostly all prescription drugs that are found in the homes of the children, the parents' drugs?
Let's back up to alcohol. I mean, almost everybody has alcohol in their homes.
Right.
People need to stop and ask themselves, do I have a locked alcohol cabinet? Am I monitoring what's in my cabinet? Do I come home and sit and have a martini after work? I mean, kids watch what you're doing. So they're mimicking what you're doing. So if they see that alcohol is just for people over the age of 21 and it's prescribed and people use it in a very monitored way, you must monitor. You need to know that your medicine cabinets are locked up, because maybe even if it's not your child that's in the medicine cabinet, which hopefully they're not and you've taught them, but their friends come over and may use your bathroom or look around the house. They're looking for the pills in the medicine cabinet because
I used to do that all the time.
Yeah, but remember, they're selling the pills out there.
Yeah.
The Vicodins, the Oxycontins, anything and everything. And when the kids get together, many times they're at these pill parties where they're drinking and throwing pills in a bowl. I know parents don't want to hear this, but it's true. They're throwing the pills in a bowl, and then everyone is just drinking and taking pills out of the bowl. It could be a mixture of who knows what, and it's lethal.
Wow. So tell real quick in the last minute, 30 seconds, give us some of the ramifications of childhood drug abuse.
Childhood drug abuse. Well, we all know that, the simple ramifications start out with, bad grades in school, and they start failing, and they start becoming very lax and lazy, and they can't focus on anything. They are getting brain damage, which we'll go into in a future segment. I'll go into more detail on that. And they can be accosted. They can have unwanted sexual activity, which can bring on unwanted STDs or pregnancies. Bullying. There can just be the gamut is so large that parents have to take control.
Susan, I will see you here next week.
Yes,
you're wonderful. This is great. It's called Empowerment Coaching for Parents: How to Raise Drug-Free Kids. Brought to you by Susan Blauner, Director of Operations of the Saving Lives Drug and Alcohol Coalition. Thank you very much, Susan. Thank you very much.